I talked a lot. So, Ree, like, what do you think? What do you think after reading the book? Oh, there's a fox out there. Sorry, guys. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. It's a red fox. Okay. Sorry, I'm back. So beautiful. Anyways, like, what did this book give you, like, in ideas about how to prepare, like, what to do today, what to prepare for tomorrow?
So for
What can we do to adapt to all the changes that are coming?
wow, you jumped C. But I don't remember to,
It's
but
okay.
the big takeaway first is that
Hmm.
system, in terms of system, because we talk about think systems, right? So
Yes.
systems can be small or medium or big. It can be a family, it can be a small entrepreneur, it can be bigger, as to a pharmaceutical company, as to like the whole healthcare industry. And you were asking about the opportunities. Well, I'm also seeing that because that's gonna move to the next theme that we are going to talk about. So I would just jump there first,
Mhm.
show my screen, yeah, and before continuing, because they are all connected. So I would like to do that. And yes. So next one, behind the coordination, it's constraints. And the example is printing press. Gutenberg, the name is. So before the printing press was invented, the constraints was human labor. So they scribe and copy books by hands. So the printing press removed the constraint of human labor. It shifted the constraints or bottlenecks into like selection, distribution, and trust. So new roles have emerged, like publishers, editors, critics, librarians, survivors adapted to the new constraints. And technology doesn't eliminate jobs. That's my take, actually. No, it even creates some jobs. And it basically it moves the constraints somewhere else, and we just need to find them. And if you ask me, stop sharing. If you ask me what my take on those opportunities, so first of all, since every industry is trying to adopt AI, the big opportunity is AI governance. The other day I was like, oh my god, existential crisis. But then since AI governance is not just for government, again, it's for the pharmaceutical itself when it adopts AI. It's not just I make this rule. It's like I read the other book that's called AI governance for healthcare industry and so on.
Mhm.
So it gave an example in the first chapter that Mount Sinai Hospital, when it spent so much money, I don't remember how much, maybe billions, to buy an AI system to adopt. But like soon it failed. Like the whole hospital hates it,
Mhm.
and there's like so many constraints because like the doctors didn't like it initially they didn't like AI anyways, and when it's in the early adoption stage, like any tool, like when you introduce a solution, it's gonna create 10 more problems. So it's like that. So in the end they really, I don't know, but let's say the book concluded as it's a kind of a failure of adoption and wasted a lot of money because healthcare professionals don't trust it, and initially it showed too much unreliability, so nobody likes them. It's a waste. And here I want to introduce another thing. It's when one solution is introduced, 10 more problems are there for you to solve. So that's the opportunity. That's why AI governance is one of them. And AI related health problems, well being is another problem. I read another article about it. Basically, all the industries, and there's this AI induced slowdown without you realizing it. It's so funny to see, okay, the developers, they feel like I enhanced my speed of working, but in the end, they slowed down. I guess it's early adoption. That's just my own guess. If it's permanent, it's really a problem. But my own guess is, well, this is the initial stage whereby you have to struggle. But
Mhm.
it, so we are right now in the stage of AI struggling phase, right? To face all the problems brought by adopting AI, and there's definitely a lot of startups that are going to emerge to handle these constraints. We call it constraints, or let's call it new needs, or new constraints is, let's call it new needs for solution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with you. There's that there whenever things change, there are new problems that show up and or problems. So I think in writing and medical writing, some of the problems is not that they are new, is that they were solved by the way we used to do things. And if we change the way we do things, then they are problems in and of themselves. And what do I mean by this?
Mm.
I want to explain what I meant by that. So just before Renee, you asked me if what I was explaining can be done on the free version of Cloud. I don't know. I have a feeling that maybe no, because you need to go turn that on the settings, like the link to the clinicaltrials.gov website. But check and then let me know if it can be done on the free version. A lot of the things, the more advanced ways of using AI cannot be done for free for obvious reasons. But on the other hand, the labs also let you do a lot of things for free so that you want to keep on using them, and maybe that will convince you to pay for the paid tools. So let's go back to what I mean by problems that were there before, but we didn't notice them. So as medical writers, we need to write content that is very accuracy is a very important thing when we are writing. So what I mean by that is we really need to fact check like every single number, right? You can't you can't just if you write a number. I mean, part of the ethics of being a medical writer, if you go read the ethical code at the EMWA website, is that we are not going to perpetuate errors. So if someone, like, it is our part of our job is if someone wrote in a paper something by mistake, that the next paper doesn't perpetuate that mistake, right? So we take a lot of time to fact check every number, fact check everything that every fact, every claim that we are making. We don't just take it from one paper. We go and we look at three different papers. If they all say the same thing, I'm saying three, but whatever. You know the process. Now, if you are exporting that job to AI, how do you know that the AI got it right, especially if it's a nuanced claim, like and that it is not overhyping anything, that it is putting the correct nuance. How do you know? Do so before we still had fact checkers, but before the act of writing, because writing was so slow and you needed to read with lots of attention, and you would read three papers said the same, you'd write one sentence, right? I remember I would read for 1 hour, write for 5 minutes, read for 1 hour, write for 5 minutes, right? Now I read for 3 4 hours. I develop a plan, I have AI write, and then I edit. So, but because I am not reading and writing, then the problem before, the problem of making sure that every single sentence was correct, was a problem that it really wasn't a big problem for me, because writing was so slow. And the way I used to write was really like reading two, three papers, and then getting some ideas, and then writing. And as I was writing, I was like, what was the number here? Go back to the paper, find it, had it highlighted, and then wrote down the number. I knew that what I had written was very accurate. Now, if I'm using the AI to write, I don't know whether what it wrote is accurate. In general, it is, but sometimes it isn't. We have heard about it, right? So now the constraint, the new problem is this: is that sometimes it is not good. Sometimes it is not accurate. So, being a fact checker has become a much more important skill if once you start writing with AI. Okay. So you can, and developing workflows that make fact checking easier and faster when working with AI. So AI is doing the writing, but you can develop a workflow that makes it easy for you to do the fact checking. So that is what I mean, that the problem was there before, but it was solved by the method. Now that the method changes, and I do believe the method will change, this problem has become bigger. So so now fact checking, and how do we develop workflows so that fact checking can be done in a time efficient way? Now that is the new constraint. So if you solve that constraint for people, either because you become a really good fact checker, or because you help them develop the workflows and you teach them how to develop fact checking workflows, or something else, then you will be in demand. Let me see. Let me see. So Letitia said, do you think that in time medical writers will become mostly fact checkers? And I think fact checking is becoming more and more an important, a key aspect of what we do, as opposed to fact checking, editing, also like constructing the narrative, so guiding the AI. I think that is where the constraints are moving. So I talk about art, right? So A stands for, let me think about this. A stands for accountability. So you take ownership of what you do. You are accountable. You cannot say the I chose, like, I wrote this like this because the AI told me to. It was AI that wrote, not me. No, you are accountable. Like, think about the people, the anesthesiologists. The reason we pay anesthesiologists so much is because they are accountable. Most of the time, they're just sitting there during your surgery and looking at the monitors. And most of the time, things are perfectly fine. But if something goes wrong, with your anesthesia, it is the anesthesiologist that is accountable. So one, we are going to get paid for this accountability because AI is not accountable. The second one is rigor, and rigor is what I was talking about, the fact checking, right? Did the AI do a good job? How do we train the AI to do a good job? How do we verify that it did a good job? And the third one is taste. All right. So art, accountability, rigor, taste. And taste is, if I am using ChatGPT and you are using ChatGPT, and we're both replying to the same call for proposals, how is mine different than yours, right? So taste is how you guide the story so that whatever AI produces is not cookie cutter. What do you think about that?
It's very interesting because okay, so I thought because it's easy to produce that, I thought maybe because I have the framework and I used it for so long that I felt it's not a constraint anymore. So I was like, every medical writer should start with fact checking. No, so basically our workflow are a bit different. So in my mind, I'm like, so I can be the constraint. I can solve the constraint nice, and she's pointing at the solution I have. Okay, so yeah, so that resonates with me a lot. And but when you say taste, it's really really interesting because that taste thing. I mean, for a nerd like me, responsibility and accuracy and accountability is kind of easy, and or to have rigor, yeah, it's kind of easy too. But taste is something really human that ChatGPT can try,
Mhm.
but you need the human to be there. And oh my god, I feel taste is so delicate that I have no comment meaning that I don't dare to have comments. So yeah, that's my comments.
All right, we got about 15 minutes to go. Do you want to talk
Oh
about the framework that you have about how much you want to participate in the reshuffle?
no! Oh yeah, let's go
Yeah.
to that
Mm-hmm.
play. Oh my gosh. Initially I was like, we have abundant time. Now I feel like no, good. So let's come here. So the third. How much would you like to participate in the reshuffle for? So after World War I, France built a engineering marvel designed for the last war. But I jumped it. So the Germany fought a different war because they went around those things.
Yeah.
So
So what
they
France
were
built was
designed.
was like say what France actually built.
Well, I actually don't really understand it. Seems like they
Oh,
dig the hole or something like that. Anyway, it's a big project, and
yeah. So what they built, so what France did, because World War One was like all of these trenches, and soldiers moved in the main roads, basically to get yeah. So the way soldiers moved from Germany towards France was via all of the main roads, right? And then you have like all
ah,
of these trenches. And so what France did was it really defended all of the main roads that were normally Germany would attack from, and they constructed this line called the Maginot. I'm not sure how to say it, which was like really well defended. And then what happened in World War II was that the Germans instead of going using the main roads, they attacked France. They went around that. They attacked France via the forest,
oh,
in a place that before you wouldn't do it because before you didn't have these machines. What are those things called? These tanks that could do it. But now the tanks had like the technology had evolved. You had tanks that could do it. You had these tanks that could go really fast. And what they did was they attacked France not by using the main roads where all of the defenses were, but they went through this forest and they went like basically, so they went behind, they say if the French defense forces were here, the Germans went behind them and attacked here, and so the French, like all of this nice construction that they had done was for nothing because the Germans just went around them and attacked them anyways. And another thing that was different was how people communicated. So it used to be because there was no radio before in World War One, the communication was very structured and very hierarchical. And the German army in the Second World War also changed that because of radio. And so before you needed to really go up the chain for someone to make a decision and change their minds. And now with the German army, with the radio, like each general had much more leeway to change their minds. So that was also another reason why the German army was so much more was able to like really conquer France so fast because the French army wasn't like didn't even know how to react to all this. Okay, carry on.
for me. Okay, so
Yes.
let's do it. Share the screen again. So it was written by Nuria, just to tell you. So Nuria was asking, what type of AI adopter would you like to be? So there's reactive optimizer, which, for example, you use ChatGPT to draft faster, same deliverables. And there's anticipator, which just position for the next move. For example, see what pharma clients may need next. That's and there's logic shifter, which means that you change the roles. You move from writer to content strategist who orchestrates AI and human workflows. There's field reshaper, which means that you're gonna restructure the ecosystem, build new models for how medical education or medical advertisement is created or delivered. So her original question was, who would you like to be? To me. And then I was like, of course I want to be the reshaper, but Then today I was thinking, how do you be a reshaper? And actually, a few days ago, I was thinking, how do I build an AI to do all these jobs? It's gonna cost millions, so I'm not gonna do it alone. At least I need to build a startup for that. Not just enough of me. So how do we continue? So yeah, I have another idea of another slide that I want. So we were here from, so that can continue with this because that's how Google Maps was and has been moving. So basically, when Uber was using Google Maps, and Google Maps learned a lot from like users using them. So based on the AI learning, it evoluted. It developed another company which called Waymo, which is basically where is it? Fully autonomous robot taxis now operating in Phoenix and San Francisco. So it became bigger and probably gonna compete with Uber soon in some time. Who knows? So that is a reshaper example. So basically, you're gonna have an AI that keeps on learning and then begin to reshuffle the industry by your learning results. But you need a smart design of a new system. If you don't think, okay, we're gonna have a robot taxi, you won't have a robot taxi, right? That's my take, and that's how you become a reshaper. I think it's big. You're gonna need ambition, and you not only need ideas, you need ambition. You need to iterate. Oh, startup is another thing, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
but
So it seems like you think that one key area that you have that you seem to be interested in is in governance, right?
yeah,
And
there's
and
governance, there's well-being when you use
uh-huh.
AI
Yeah.
because as you do put so many prompts and let it generate and you copy, and that's actually called techno stress, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of workers already reporting it. It's published too. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's stress and you can have like that's the cost of technology to human, and so
Mm-hmm.
there's well-being around that area. So there's more well-being issues around it, and to study that, there's efficiency, there's, and also like if you think about AI learning
Mm-hmm.
in CME, that can be huge. If a CME company is using an app, and this is just imaginary, let's just put our
Mm-hmm.
head there. Imagine, I don't want to say anything wrong. So if they learned about where an HCP broke in learning or where they had it, what's their preference, they can become another type of content provider, and
Mm-hmm.
even they can produce the data is really really important to be confidential, because if ever it went into, let's say, healthcare advertising,
Mm-hmm.
or if you think about all this connected, if it went into, if it got hijacked,
Mm-hmm.
it was by another author that was writing about AI cybersecurity too, because as you use it more, like the data become more important to not to be hijacked.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was talking about governance and cybersecurity, but that's another big thing. So I'm just saying, if the AI learning is used in, let's say, medical writing and hospitals, they can be hugely beneficial in the sense that you said like mental maps, right? The
Mm-hmm.
mental maps of one of the gaps in healthcare is that interdisciplinary professionals always have different opinions because they have different mental maps
Mm-hmm.
of how the patient is. Like, so they give different opinions and they don't own the patient's journey. So at least AI can coordinate the mental maps.
Mm-hmm.
But by doing that, it there's good and bad again. So yeah, that's just how I'm seeing it right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it can affect other like healthcare sectors as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said,
Yeah.
that's it.
That's
So back
it.
to you.
Yeah, so I think we So one thing that the way I think about this is, let's assume that writing is now cheap.
Mm,
So what can I do? What do I want to do? What do I like doing? Right? So I do like the idea that I can get away from. Not me not having to rename my PDF files. I think that that's huge. Like that is a huge time saver. So the way I think about this, so I think about this in two different ways. One is like, what is it that I hate doing, and can I offload this to AI?
mm,
Let me figure out how I can offload something that I hate doing to AI. And then what is it that I like doing, that I can like what that however I build my systems of working, right? That I build it in a way that protects what I like doing and lets me do more of what I like doing. So that is one part of the equation. And then the other
yes.
part of the equation is, what are the other people's pain points? And specifically here I'm talking about my clients, right? What are their pain points? Where are they what do they want me to solve for them? Because the reason why people hire us in the end is because they have a problem that they need us to solve, right? So before it is still the production of content, but the production of content that is accurate, that is targeted to the audience, and that is differentiable from other people. So there are two ways that I see, if I'm just thinking about that and nothing else. There are two ways that I see myself working there. One is that I can become a writer who guarantees that even with AI, everything that I produce is still that. It's still accurate, and differentiated and still on time, which is what they want. Another way is that I can develop, like, because I am the writer, right? They used to externalize this because a lot of companies, or either because they don't have enough writers, right? Or because they don't have a medical writer on staff. In CME, a lot of the time is because they don't have a medical writer on staff. So now they're like, okay, but maybe we can get, so for CME writers, I'm like, I think most of the time, they will just want a CME writer that even with AI can deliver the same, can maybe deliver faster, maybe deliver a more nuanced thing, but still can deliver the same thing, right? So you can just be the writer that writes with AI, and we're good to go. Now, if you are thinking like, no, I have a team of writers and they used to write, they used to do everything manually. Can you now teach me how to do this with AI? So you can become the person that specializes in teaching companies how to do something with AI. And they're like a million different workflows to work with. And as the technology evolves, you still will be able to be teaching people how to use AI. And let me tell you why I say this. There is this company called Bright Carbon. Bright Carbon, they do these presentations, free presentations, I think once a week or once every 2 weeks, on how to use PowerPoint. Now, PowerPoint has been around since forever, and they get like more than 100, between 150 to 250 people every week going there and watching their presentations on how to use PowerPoint well. And the service that they sell is they sell fully executed slide decks, usually for like learning for corporate training type things. That is what they sell. So teaching people how to use tools like software, I don't think that that is going to go away. So that is one thing that you can also do. Or you can be the person that really knows how to use a tool really well, and you'll still be paid for that. The same way like they are paid to produce really awesome PowerPoint presentations.
Oh,
That I think is one way of thinking about it. Another way of thinking about it is like people are now merging that there are these new, and I want to finish this now, these new job postings that mix being a writer
Mm.
and being a researcher. And you can go work. So then you become like the you can go being a researcher and being a writer, but then you go work in the labs like at ChatGPT or like at OpenAI or Anthropic or Google, because they need more people like us that have the skills as science writers, as science medical writers, science communicators, to go train their models to be better at research and to be better at writing scientific text. So look out for those job posts. If you're interested in developing this technology and making this technology better and better, those job posts are like really good. Like the salaries are really high, like
Ooh,
upwards
I
of
didn't see
200,000.
them.
Yeah.
Actually, what I saw the other day is the Johnson and Johnson hiring like medical writers that can use prompts.
Uh-huh.
So those are generally for regulatory type of writing, you
Yeah.
don't allow those. But because my personal guess is that there are like parts whereby you just need to fact check public literature.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's where it
Yeah.
is there. And
Okay, we're at our last minute here. I want to
yeah,
thank. We had like 7 to 8 people that were seem to have been here the whole time.
thank
Deline,
you.
I see your comment. Thank you for saying that. Thank you guys so much for being here. And thank you, Ree, for doing this book club with me.
Oh
I really
yeah, I'm
appreciate
really
you.
happy. It pushed me to finish the book quick. And I really love hearing your insights and feel like I'm so worth.
No.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
I'm also thinking of doing other book clubs. Let's pick some other books. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
we can talk about other stuff or continue on this topic too.
All right. Okay. Thank you guys. And
Thank you so much,
yeah.
people.
Okay. Bye bye.
Yeah, bye.